Welcome to the deep dive.
Yeah.
Have you ever stopped to think why I didn't see anybody? Sounds completely normal, but I saw anybody, it feels wrong, right?
Yeah, definitely off.
So today we're getting into that. We're talking about negative polarity items, NPIs, these linguistic oddities.
Exactly. Quirks is a good word.
They have these really specific rules about where they can show up in a sentence. Think of this as your quick guide to understanding this really cool bit of language.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that anybody let's unpack it.
Right. So NPIs fundamentally are words or phrases like any or ever or maybe lift a finger that are, well, restricted. They can't just appear anywhere.
Restricted. Okay. So they need a specific kind of grammatical situation to be allowed. You used the word licensing before we started. What licenses them?
The big one, the classic licenser, is negation. So the word not or phrases like no one, never, they create the right atmosphere, grammatically speaking.
Okay, not. Makes sense.
But it's actually a bit broader. It's not just explicit not. Words that kind of imply a negative or a small quantity, like few or seldom, they can often do it too.
Oh, interesting. Like few people ever go there.
Exactly. That ever is an NPI licensed by few.
Got it. So back to our original anybody example, the not part in I didn't see anybody, that's the license.
Precisely.
But why does I saw anybody crash and burn? What's missing?
Well, a really key concept here is something linguists call downward entailment.
Downward entailment. Okay, sounds technical.
It does, but the basic idea isn't too bad. Basically, if you have a negative statement about a general category, it implies the same negativity about specific things within that category.
I mean,
Like if I say I didn't eat any fruit, that's the general statement. If that's true...
then you didn't eat an apple. You didn't eat a banana.
Exactly. It entails downwards from any fruit to specific fruits. Negation creates that kind of logical environment, and that environment is what NPIs like any often need.
Ah, okay, and the positive statements don't do that. I ate fruit. Doesn't mean I ate an apple.
Right. They don't have that downward entailment property. So any, when it's acting as an NPI, feels wrong there. It doesn't have its license.
That clicks. So this link between negation, downward entailment, and NPIs is this like the universal language rule. Do all languages do this with their version of any?
That's a great question, and no, not exactly the same way. This is where cross-linguistic variation comes in. The tendency for these kinds of words to like negative contexts. Pretty common.
But the specifics differ.
Yeah, hugely sometimes. Which words are NPIs? What exactly licenses them?
It varies. You mentioned Spanish earlier. The word ningún often corresponds to any in negatives, but its grammatical behavior is different.
So each language has its own flavor of these rules. Okay, how does the sentence structure, the syntax connect with the meaning, the semantics here? They're really tightly connected. You can't separate them. The grammatical arrangement, the syntax has to create that semantic condition like negation or downward entailment for the NPI to be licensed. It's an interface.
An interface. And you mentioned something called command earlier, too. Sounds even more specific.
Yeah, for some NPIs, it's not just enough for a licenser like not to be somewhere in the sentence. It needs to be in a particular structural position relative to the NPI. It needs to command it.
Like a hierarchy.
Kind of. Think of it like the negative word has to be higher up in the sentence structure in a position of command over the NPI to give it permission. It's a structural requirement.
Okay, so structure matters, sometimes very precisely. Now, I've heard about free choice items. Are they related? Sometimes any feels different, like in anyone can solve this.
Good point. That any is different. That's free choice any. It means something like every person or no matter who. It has a universal open choice kind of meaning, and crucially, it's not restricted to negative sentences. NPI any is the one that needs the special licensing.
Right. Different jobs for the same word sometimes. Language is tricky.
It keeps us busy.
So we've got negation, downward entailment. What about questions? Or if clauses? Can NPIs show up there? Like, did you see anything?
Yes, absolutely. Questions and conditionals are other common licensing environments. Have you ever tried it? Or if you need anything at all, just ask.
Why do those work? They aren't strictly negative.
They often imply a kind of uncertainty or non-existence. A question implies you don't know the answer, which could be negative, and a conditional sets up a hypothetical where something might not happen. They share some properties with negative contexts.
So it's a family of related environments, not just pure not.
Hmm.
Fascinating. And I guess linguists have different theories trying to tie all this together.
Oh, definitely. There are various models trying to explain the underlying principles, why these specific environments license these specific items. It's an active area of research.
Well, this has been super interesting. So the big takeaway seems to be that these MPI words, like any or ever, they're not just randomly scattered. They follow these pretty intricate rules.
That's right. Rules often linked to negation, downward entailment, and sentence structure.
And understanding them gives you a peek under the hood, doesn't it? At the complex system running our language.
Exactly. It shows how meaning and grammar are just woven together so tightly.
Makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other patterns are out there in everyday speech that we just take for granted? What other hidden rules are shaping how we talk and understand each other? Definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.